Hi, my name's Phil. I like to talk about politics. And okay, you will never guess what the tosspot of tantrums has done now. The orange champion of free speech. Are you planning on visiting the United States in the near future? Do you know someone who is? Maybe for the World Cup next year. Well, you'd better have been good girls or boys because Orange Santa is checking your social media now. New rules on applying for authorization to visit the US is going to require you to hand over 5 years worth of social media. It's presented as national security strategy, but that makes no sense. Anyone using social media to promote harm to the United States is either not ever going to visit the United States, or if they might, they're going to use an anonymous account. They'll just miss it off the form. The only people who can possibly get caught here are those with personal social media accounts where maybe once or twice they laughed at his Time magazine portrait or took the piss out of one of his minions. This is another attack on freedom of speech from the so-called free speech champions. Trump has already cost the US billions in lost tourism. How much is he going to cost them by the time he's done? And what might it do to the World Cup attendance? There are enough foreign MAGA to fill up the stadia, you know. Is he actually trying to make sure the World Cup stadia are as empty as his rallies? This is what, just having a look at it, this is what the order requires for any ESTA application, which is what many visitors to the World Cup are going to need to be able to travel to the US next summer. So you will need to provide your social media from the last 5 years. Now, this has been billed, like I say, as a national security issue. Can't possibly work. You know, if you've got a social media account, if you're using it to promote actual harm to the United States, you're not going to have it linked to you and then travel to the United States, whether you had to put it on your form or not. So a genuine threat to America wanting to travel there there'd be nothing on that ESTA form that would mark them out. This can only trap innocent people who just exercise their freedom of speech and might have said or liked something derogatory about the orange one or his miserable band of munchkins. The absolute state of this guy banging on about freedom of speech all the time while he is actively suppressing freedom of speech. Because what's supposed to happen here? All this does is make people mindful of why the US want this information and what their own social media might contain. It might dissuade people visiting the US at all, including for the World Cup, for fear of paying a fortune on hotels and flights and whatever else, just to enjoy the hospitality of a nice detention centre while you miss the football. Like, who's going to risk forking out a load of money when there's no clear indication about exactly what sort of social media content could have immigration officials invite you to have your visit ruined? And what happens if lots of naive visitors don't really think about it? Oh, you want my social media? Oh, I wonder what they want that for. Oh, I'm not going to wonder for too long. They put it down, think no more of it, just assume it's a genuine national security thing. Well, I'm not posing a threat to national security. I'm not going to beat anyone up. They book their hotels, they book their flights, only to be told later their application's been rejected. Or worse, they get stopped whilst actually travelling to the tournament. Like, what sort of international incidents is this going to be caused if epic numbers of tourists are blocked from travelling or detained on arrival? Because you might imagine the odd person could leave off a social media account and hope for the best. Yeah, my Facebook's all right. Not so much my Twitter. I'll leave that off. Because they want to watch the football, right? Then they get stopped in America because they've found it anyway. How is Trump going to claim he's a champion of free speech if the thin-skinned tosser detains people for laughing at his nussy or something? There are also requirements to provide various phone numbers that you might have used in the past 5 years, email addresses from the past 10 years, IP addresses and metadata from electronically submitted photos. How do you even do that? The names and addresses of all your family and ancestors going back to the 16th century. Okay, the last one's an exaggeration, but only slightly. I mean, I discussed recently how Trump has already trashed tourism in the US and how the hammer has ironically fallen hardest on Republican states like Florida. Even anti-immigration politicians usually still approve of tourism. After all, what's not to like about tourism? People come to your country, dump a load of cash into the economy, and then sod off after a week or so. Trump seems to be adopting the tourism principles here of North Korea. And faced with this level of scrutiny, would you bother going to the USA, even for something big like the World Cup if you're a mad football fan? Would you really trust that it's only to stop people who advocate harm against the United States when anyone genuinely posing a threat is not going to put it down on the form. How do you think this could affect people's decisions on travel to America when, at a time when tourism is increasing around the world, Trump's USA has bucked the trend in 2025 by being the only country to see it fall, and to the tune of $12 billion. Just how much could that hit be in 2026? Let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel for more content. Click the bell notification icon so you know when new videos are coming out. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.